The idea that Manchester United officials may have made a mistake by allowing David de Gea to leave the club is a topic that has generated considerable debate within the football world. The Spanish goalkeeper was a mainstay in United's goal for over a decade, becoming one of the best shot stoppers in the Premier League and earning numerous accolades for his performances. However, following his departure in the summer of 2023, it seems that the club's officials are beginning to have second thoughts about that decision. Now, it appears that Manchester United is seriously considering the possibility of re-signing De Gea as a free agent to address their current goalkeeping situation. David De Gea's departure last year came after a long period of uncertainty about his future at Old Trafford. While he had been United's undisputed first-choice goalkeeper for many years, the rise of Andre Onana, who was brought in from Inter Milan, presented a challenge for De Gea's role. Onana's style of play, characterized by his ability to play out from the back and distribute the ball with precision, made him a better fit for manager Erik ten Hag's tactical preferences. The shift toward a more possession-based style of play in United's defense appeared to signal the end of De Gea's tenure. Yet, since Onana's arrival, Manchester United's goalkeeping situation has not been as straightforward as the club might have hoped. Onana, despite his excellent distribution skills and shot-stopping ability, has struggled with consistency at times, leading to some concerns among fans and analysts alike. He has shown moments of brilliance, but there have been costly errors as well, including mishandling the ball and lapses in concentration during crucial matches. As a result, questions have been raised about whether he is the right long-term solution for United's goalkeeping needs. On the other hand, De Gea has continued to perform well in his absence from United's squad. After leaving the club, he took some time to assess his future, and he remains a free agent as of now. While some may have assumed that his career in the Premier League was effectively over, the current circumstances at Manchester United seem to be leading to a potential reunion. United's interest in bringing De Gea back stems from several factors. First and foremost, the club's management acknowledges that De Gea's experience and leadership qualities were vital during his time at Old Trafford. He was often called upon to make match-winning saves and was integral in keeping the team competitive during difficult periods. While Onana's attributes are undeniable, De Gea's presence in goal is something that many at the club recognize as irreplaceable. Additionally, the fact that De Gea is available on a free transfer makes him a tempting option for United. Given the club's ongoing financial struggles and need to prioritize other areas of the squad, bringing De Gea back on a free could be seen as an economically prudent move. Furthermore, De Gea would be familiar with the demands of the Premier League, the club's culture and its supporters, which would ensure a smoother transition compared to integrating a completely new goalkeeper. However, re-signing De Gea would not be without its complications. The Spaniard's style of play, particularly his more traditional shot-stopping approach, may not align perfectly with Erik ten Hag's tactical demands. The Dutch manager values a goalkeeper who can play with their feet, and De Gea's distribution, although improved over the years, has never been his strongest attribute. It would require careful consideration as to how his return could fit into the long-term vision for United's footballing philosophy. Ultimately, the potential return of David De Gea is a reflection of the unpredictability that often accompanies the fast-paced world of football. While his exit seemed final just a year ago, the evolving dynamics of United's goalkeeping situation have opened the door for a possible reunion. Whether or not Manchester United moves forward with this idea will depend on several factors, including De Gea's willingness to rejoin, his ability to adapt to the current tactical setup, and the club's broader strategy for the future. For now, the Red Devils officials appear to be reconsidering their earlier decision, and only time will tell if they decide that bringing back their former goalkeeper is the right choice. Diogo Dalot reveals Ruben Amorim's speech that left entire Manchester United squad in stitches. Manchester United head coach Ruben Amorim has only been at the club for a brief period of time, but he has already made a strong impression on some of his players. Ruben Amorim has made a positive impression on the Manchester United dressing room. Diogo Dalot has shared an insight into the early months of Ruben Amorim's tenure at Manchester United, and the Portugal international says Amorim's brutal honesty has been well received by the Red Devils dressing room. Amorim was United's first choice to replace Erik ten Hag when the Dutchman was sacked back in October. The 40-year-old became one of Europe's most sought-after coaches during his time in Sporting Lisbon, but he has endured a baptism of fire at Old Trafford with the Red Devils set to record their lowest league finish in the Premier League era. While results have been up and down, it's hoped Amorim will be the man to end United's current malaise. He has certainly made an impression on his players, and his attempts to speak English from day one were well received, according to Dalot, even if his compatriot did slip back into his mother tongue. The defender told TalkSport, "It was funny because sometimes he was so used to it in the beginning to speak Portuguese that he would start speaking Portuguese to all the players. And the players were like, 'Boss, come on, you're speaking Portuguese.' And he was like, 'Oh, sorry,' and he started already with English. But it's a normal adaptation. I've been there. When I arrived, it was exactly the same." Dalot continued, "I think speaking English was something that he obviously tried to make sure as soon as he arrived to adapt really quick for everybody not to feel left out. Obviously, sometimes it's easier for him to communicate in Portuguese in the first few months. But now I think it became completely normal for him to speak English." Diogo Dalot has been impressed with Amorim. Amorim has pulled no punches with some of his assessments since arriving at Manchester United, including his claim that the current team might be the worst in the club's entire history. But Dalot says he and his teammates value their manager's honesty, explaining, "I think it's one of the best compliments that you can give about him is that he's really honest. I think you can see that when he speaks, he's not trying to give the right answer. He just speaks from the heart. And it's difficult for a manager to always be completely honest. But I think it's something that since I've known him as a manager, he's always been like that. And then people will judge him by his words, by his actions. But that's part of football. We football players will be judged by what we do on the pitch. So as a manager, you're always exposed to that. But I think he's a really good communicator, so he will be fine." The saga of Paul Pogba's potential return to Manchester United has been a subject of intense speculation for quite some time. Fans and pundits alike have often discussed the possibility of a dramatic reunion between the French midfielder and the club he left in 2022. Pogba's departure followed a high-profile saga, including issues surrounding his doping ban in March 2025. Since then, his next move has been eagerly anticipated, with various reports suggesting a potential return to Old Trafford. The speculation around Pogba's return to Manchester United gained momentum, especially given his deep history with the club and his previous successes. Manager Ruben Amorim was reportedly interested in bringing the player back, adding fuel to the rumors. Many fans clung to the idea of Pogba's comeback, hoping for the midfielder to once again contribute to the team. However, these hopes have been definitively dashed by transfer expert Fabrizio Romano. Romano, known for his reliable sources and accurate transfer news, unequivocally stated that Manchester United had never considered re-signing Pogba in recent months. He firmly declared, "Forget about Pogba and Manchester United," stressing that the club had no intention of bringing him back, neither in the current window nor in the summer. Romano's statements are a strong indication that Manchester United's leadership is shifting its focus. The club is increasingly prioritizing young talent with high potential over established stars like Pogba. This move signals a major shift in the club's strategy, one that emphasizes the future rather than dwelling on past glories. Under the current leadership, Manchester United is moving towards a new direction, focusing on developing younger, more dynamic players who can contribute to the team's success over the long term. For many Manchester United fans, the end of Pogba's chapter at the club is a difficult pill to swallow. Pogba had been seen as a key figure during his first stint at Old Trafford, with glimpses of brilliance that hinted at his potential to be a game-changer for the club. However, his time at Manchester United was marred by inconsistency and off-field distractions, making it difficult for him to live up to the lofty expectations set by his talent. As Fabrizio Romano stated, "It's time to move on from these thoughts of a Pogba return." The club is setting its sights on the future, and that future lies with younger players who can help Manchester United build towards sustained success. This represents the end of a particular chapter in the club's history, and fans will need to accept the new direction the leadership is taking. The era of relying on older, well-known stars is over, and the club is fully committed to a rebuilding phase focused on nurturing emerging talent. Ultimately, while Pogba's time at Manchester United may be over, the club's journey toward a brighter future is just beginning. It's time for Manchester United to focus on new opportunities, new faces, and a fresh approach to success. Ruben Amorim discovers 2 reasons Bruno Fernandes could quit Manchester United for Real Madrid. Bruno Fernandes has been linked with a summer move to Real Madrid, with former Manchester United first-team coach Rene Moulensin claiming the player's desire to win and ability to replace Luka Modric could be key. Sir Alex Ferguson's former assistant reckons Manchester United skipper Bruno Fernandes would fit like a glove at Real Madrid. United boss Ruben Amorim has insisted Fernandes is going nowhere this summer, despite the Spanish Giants being linked with a £50 million move for the Red Devils captain this summer. Rene Moulensin, who had 2 spells at United, including 6 years as first-team coach working under Ferguson, said 30-year-old playmaker Fernandes would be a perfect fit at the Bernabeu. Despite Amorim's stance, Moulensin said Fernandes would slot straight in alongside Bernabeu stars Kylian Mbappe, Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo, and Jude Bellingham. "I think people sometimes question the way Fernandes likes to get his feelings across," Moulensin told Poker Firma. "But one thing for me is certain, he's an absolute winner. He plays all the games, he's never injured, and he's very committed to United and wants the best for the club. Every footballer has ambitions. I'm sure he wants to win trophies for United, but if a team like Real Madrid were to come knocking for him in the summer, he would fit like a glove there." Luka Modric is turning 40 soon, and Madrid needs someone in midfield with that kind of passing range who can supply Rodrigo, Vinicius Jr., and Mbappe. With Fernandes' passing range, Real Madrid would be unbelievable and their forward line would become even better. Moulensin also reckons United made a major blunder in getting rid of winger Anthony Elanga. Elanga, sold by United to Nottingham Forest in 2023 for £15 million, came back to haunt his old club with the winner in Tuesday's 1-0 win at the City Ground. Moulensin believes United were wrong to let Elanga go and claimed winger Alejandro Garnacho, whom he made way for, does not have the character or personality to succeed at Old Trafford. "I've never been sold on Alejandro Garnacho, to be fairly honest," said Moulensin. "I think there's a personality and character issue at times. Anthony Elanga, on the other hand, his performance in the 1-0 win is exactly what you want to expect from a Manchester United winger. Strong, direct, powerful, full of confidence and taking players on. I always thought Elanga showed those glimpses when he was playing for United, but the club closed the door on him and his career has restarted at a different club. You really have to question the decision-making process to let players like him go, because there's been a few who have slipped through the fingers." Rene Moulensin was talking to Poker Firma. The interview can be found here. Poker Firma.